Welcome to GLHF, the world's first podcast, back in video games again. Sorry to scare you guys with the outdoors for a moment. We try not to do it too often because we know it's a little bit freaky. So we're back where we belong.
I think 2 a year is enough in person. I think that's like the maximum amount
too many,
I can take. It's like trying to podcast in person, especially standing up. I feel like that was a lot of work.
Yeah, I mean, typically, I think we're both doing a lot of sitting, so standing for an hour straight is unnatural for a gamer.
Yeah, it is. But the outdoors was nice. I liked sniffing the air, the cool LA air. I'm really tired from that trip. So you might have to carry this one.
That's okay.
Kind of like if we were playing League.
I'm doing okay. I woke up. I do know a little bit about League, and I do know the word carry because I'm a gamer, as we know.
Nice.
And I'm feeling very gamer today because I have a little bit of gamer news to talk about. And I was just going ham on the Steam summer sale. I've been waiting.
Is that happening? All right, I'm going to log in and do it right now as we pod.
Not as we pod. Let me know what you buy, I guess. I have a bunch of stuff in my cart right now. It's not going to be on
screen. I'll do it on my laptop.
I have a bunch of stuff in my cart right now because I've been waiting, as most of us do, with a bunch of stuff in my wish list. So it's not like that great of discounts. It's like 20% for most things, but I figure that's better than nothing. And,
I think they actually ran out of games to put on sale. Because I remember back when the Steam sale first started, they're talking like 10 years ago, 15 or whatever it was. It was like, holy shit, I can't believe these games are on sale.
Yeah.
But now every time I log on, it's like all the same games. Like BioShock's on sale, Resident Evil is on sale. Like I feel like
a lot of stuff that a lot of people already own.
Exactly. So there's not enough games coming out to make it like exciting. But it used to be, and I don't know if they still do this, but it would be like every 4 hours, like different games would go on sale and you'd be like, ooh, gotta get that one. Are they still doing that type of stuff?
I don't know if there's time limits or if everything is just on sale for the whole period, but I remember what you're talking about. They would make it a little more exciting because there would be flash sales for certain things.
And then I would always just go, as any poor person would do, is you just go to the under $5 section and just buy everything you can, just to load up on all the games. And then you go into your library, a few years later, and you're like, oh damn, I've got a lot of games that I forgot about.
Exactly.
What have you seen? Are you getting anything that the people can be excited about seeing on the channel?
Quite a few things. Quite a few just like indie games, horror games that have been on my wish list for a long time. I don't want to spoil too much because a lot of this is going to be content. But, you can
spoil it. Nobody listens to this podcast because one of us doesn't promote it.
Only 10,000 people, which we did hit 10K.
Actually, yeah.
We were about to hit 10K when we recorded in person, and now we have.
Here's a question.
Yeah.
How are we going to decide who gets the plaque once we get to 100? Are we going to wrestle for it? Are we going to go
Well, guess what? Something
shooting?
I just learned, because I actually just ordered my 100K plaque last night.
I'm so excited for you.
You can pay for extras, so we could both get one.
That feels lame. At that point, we should just pay for 10 and give them away.
No, that's
I think
what I was
only
thinking.
One, truly.
Is there a limit?
What's the original? Because there's websites you can go on just to buy replicas if you really want to. Like I've seen people with not enough subscribers who have plaques, which is pretty cool.
Wait, really? Why would they do that?
Yeah, I mean it's I don't know. Some people just want to see it, I guess.
Are you saying you've watched videos of people that have it in their background and don't have 100K subscribers?
No, they usually get the million one or something like that. But yeah,
just as a joke.
I think it's kind of it's like when you watch the news and they've got a wall of books behind them and you're like, these might even not be real books. You definitely haven't read them, but you just put them up to look legitimate. Yeah,
I wonder about when you go into a professor's office a lot of the time, especially if they're in the humanities, they have this big wall of books in their office, and I'm like, have you actually read all these books?
You should be asking.
Hundreds of books.
These are the questions that we should be asking. It's similar. This is related to the Steam conversation kind of, but I gave up on playing that game, Expedition 33, Clair Obscur, whatever. It got really boring. and I kept trying to play it.
Praising it before.
It's a great concept, but it like the world design. It's the same shit over and over and over again.
You know what's funny is I've heard people say. Sorry, I will let you speak. I've heard people say alternately, like they'll just call it Clair Obscur or they'll just call it Expedition 33. And so I realized like a few days ago that those are the same games.
It's a bad name for a video game. But
anyway, but you hate it now?
What I kind of realized is like everyone has a point in their life where they consume a piece of media where it's the first time that they've consumed a piece of media that was like reasonably good and like super emotional. So like sometimes it'll be an anime or a movie, or like for me it was Final Fantasy X, and it's the first time you've like experienced a thing that like made you cry. You know what I mean? And they're always good and whatever. But when you get older, you realize that there's like a lot of those things. And this game is just one of those. Like it's a bunch of people's first
You disappeared.
Game that made... I did disappear. My whole browser disappeared. That's weird. All right, hold on. I'm coming back. But I think I just kind of realized that, like, it's a very good game, but it's just like another game like that. So it's basically Final Fantasy X, but again. And I've consumed so many pieces of media that are like, just like good stories with where it's sad because the people die, you know? Yeah. Like, and the first time you experience a story where people die after reading just like Junie B. Jones and like whatever the hell you're reading as a kid, you know, Encyclopedia Brown. And then you read the first story you consume where like people die. You're like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing I've ever consumed. This is the greatest story ever.
Exactly.
But you realize then, oh, it's actually just like, it's like not that
For many people, that was The Fault in Our Stars by John Green.
Yes, exactly. And all of these things are like generally pretty good. They're all really well made. But
or Bridge to Terabithia, that one.
Bridge to Terabithia is a great one. God, there's so many like that. But this to me feels like one of those things. And some people can consume an infinity of those things and never get bored of them. I like them, but I don't know. I just don't feel like doing it right now. And I might be wrong. I'm sure there's going to be people being like,
it doesn't make it any less special to the people that is a new experience or like touch something in them. I mean, everybody reacts to things differently based on who they are. So.
And maybe people will comment and say, hey, actually, you just have to play it for 20 hours. And then when you get to that mark, it actually gets really amazing and starts doing interesting things. And that might be the case. And I'm just being bored. But the point is, I'm bored of it. And this goes back to this conversation about the books on the shelf. We'll see if the people in the comments agree. But the books on the shelf, and you're like, have you read them? And so I had the experience where I was going through like my library of all the, like my Switch and my Steam library. And I was like, God, I haven't played most of these games. And I really I want to read all the books I own. I want to play all the games I own, but nobody ever actually wants to do that, you know? So yeah, I don't know if I assume you have a similar thing where it's like, you have a gajillion Steam games already, and how many of them have you even like given a fair shake, you know?
Yeah, I have certainly a lot of games from back in the days when Humble Bundle was popular.
Yeah.
But I've given up on feeling bad about not playing them all, I think. I've been making my way in my free time lately through some of these little indie games that I get, because I like to get a lot of little artsy kind of point and click indie games. And I realized that if I just go ahead and play them, they don't really take very long. So it's just kind of like a nice little, maybe 2-hour evening activity to just have a nice little artful experience. So I've been enjoying that.
I think that is the move. I'm trying to define like I want to play a good side-scrolling game that's not too long. Do not recommend Hollow Knight. I'm not playing it. But something else, you know? Like a Shovel Knight-esque kind of thing that isn't a roguelike. Just like a game that has a beginning and an end.
Yeah.
You know? So that's kind of what I'm looking for. I guess really the question is, what are you buying on Steam today?
I am excited about something called the Monster Breeder. Have you heard of this?
I think I have heard of that, actually.
Because it looks like you can make...
Hopefully that wasn't like a video I watched.
It looks like you can make a crazy-looking little freak and battle him against things.
Are you talking about Monster Girl Breeder? Oh, I'm looking at hentai right now all of a sudden. That's crazy. It's just on my screen. I forgot that. It's not on the podcast screen. It's on my laptop screen.
Damn. Do you want to link
smokes.
me just so I can react with you at how crazy it is?
Yeah. Here, let me get this. Well, you just go on Steam and type Monster Girl Breeder. Everyone can go look at it.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it's
this is just called the Monster Breeder. So it almost looked like
I looked it up and it didn't show up. But here, let me link you to Monster Girl Breeder. Suddenly, I'm back in 10 years ago. What I was doing on Discord, sending hentai to all my friends. It's a joke. I wasn't doing that. Yeah. So anyway, that's not what I need to be looking at right now. I told you, it's right on the screen.
Whoa!
It's right there. The smallest cup size there is like a triple D, I think. Pretty insane. The monster. What's it called? The Monster
Breeder. That's all it's called. I'm looking at it right now.
It's not showing up for me. Is this like something that I have to enable a setting to make it so I'm allowed to see it?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well,
it only shows itself.
Oh, it's because I'm still searching. I'm still searching.
Because you're in the hentai category, or what?
Oh yeah, sorry. I had it set to only show me hentai.
Yeah, your filter says only hentai.
Yeah. Call of Duty, totally different game when you have that filter on. All right, the Monster Breeder. You breed little people. Oh, it's kind of like Spore, but you're fighting them on a battlefield.
Yeah, that's exactly what I just said.
Oh, sorry, I was distracted by something. It's my mistake.
That's fine.
All right, well, that seems cool. That seems fun.
Did you want to talk at all about your VidCon panel experience? Because between the last episode and now, the panel happened. We were talking about it about to happen in the episode.
Yes, it was fun. I thought it was amusing, and I had a nice time. And my panelist friends, who initially I thought the panel was going to be extremely strange and chaotic, because it was me talking about. They had me on the panel, as I said, to talk about what to do if you have a viral video, and how to capitalize on it. And I was on this panel with a lady named Cassandra, what's her last name? Bankson? Yeah, she's like a beauty influencer or something. And somebody named Merrick Hanna, who's like he dances. If you saw the cough dance on TikTok, that's him. So it was me, beauty influencer, cough dance kid, talking about
I was having to look up cough dance after the panel, because it's a big deal. Just, I had never seen it or heard of it before the panel, and then he kept saying cough dance, and it's just, you're like pretending to cough, and then you are like, psych, I'm not coughing, I'm doing a dance.
Yeah.
So that's all it is.
That's the whole thing. So we got up on stage, and the Cassandra Bankson asked us a bunch of questions about viral videos, and we answered them all. It felt like sitting up on a stage and talking and yapping. It felt like going on a podcast.
I thought it went well. I said at the time, that it worked much better than I thought it would.
Yes, because I agree totally.
I guess the panelists were just you and the dancing kid, and the other lady was moderating, so she wasn't talking quite as much. But the two of you, I thought actually both had interesting perspectives and things to say, and the dancing kid actually had a lot of intelligent things to say for being a TikTok dancer.
He was really smart. Yeah. I talked to him a little bit after, and he's a cool dude.
And he's what, 20?
20. Yeah, he's just 20.
Yeah.
So
a child.
As compared to us, a child.
I was at 20. I was definitely a child.
I would say so for sure. I think I was worse than that. If I knew myself at 20 now, I would think I was in middle school, based on my fashion sense and my behavior. I go, what? You got some growing up to do. But yeah, doing a panel, it's my first time doing a panel, and it is really nice because you get to say whatever you want, and then people clap, and you're like, oh, this is pretty good. You can kind of you tell people what you think, and they look at you to give you a lot of validation.
Because you're up on the stage and they're just in the audience.
I know.
So you really have this position of power.
You couldn't see this, but the whole time there's this big screen staring right at me with my face on it, looking back at me.
Oh, there's a monitor?
I was looking at my face. Yeah, there's a monitor facing me. So I kept getting psyched out by it.
I would just end up staring at myself the whole time.
Yeah, I was trying not to. So I think the only thing that surprised me is that it was more substantive than I expected it to be. I think in those circumstances, a lot of the times I just ramble and rant and rave and kind of don't feel like anything happened. But I felt like there was sort of a conversation. That's probably credit to the moderator to some extent for coming up with those questions, because we had never met each other, the three of us. The first time all three of us had met was about 90 seconds before we walked up on that stage.
Yeah.
So it was funny. It was a little chaotic. It was like one of the last panels after everyone had already started leaving. So it was a great practice for potentially doing more in the future. I don't know. Do you want to do a panel? We could do a panel. We talked about it. We could do a GLHF next year.
I would like to do a panel. I don't know if at VidCon, I don't know if there's like a more exciting convention we could go to.
There'd probably be something slightly more suitable, yeah.
I don't know what
as we discovered, VidCon is mostly for either industry people or children.
Yes,
there's not a lot
I
of
actually just this morning, you probably got an email too from VidCon asking you to do the survey about it.
I did.
And yes. I actually did the whole survey because I was I do have some feedback.
What kind of advice did you give them? Get more interesting panels,
it was just a lot of there wasn't like a free response. It was just clicking buttons for like what you did or didn't enjoy, and I basically just put in that there just wasn't enough events that I was interested in, and not enough opportunities to actually meet people because the lounges are not lounges.
That's true. Yeah, they need more like actual places for people to chill.
Right,
because
there were no places
didn't encourage
to chill.
Much mingling, you know.
No.
I was thinking about with panels, it's got to be a little tough because to do a truly good panel that is like both entertaining, informative, and compelling in whatever way, it's quite a bit of work. And you're trying to get YouTubers, notoriously lazy people who like to make a lot of money for doing very little work. You're trying to get them to do something very compelling, probably without paying them, for a very small audience. And given how vain I feel like most YouTubers are, myself included, it's like there's not a lot of incentive to do like a high quality panel, you know? So it's got to be a tough problem to solve unless you find people who just do it for the love of the game. But I don't know if those are the people who are at VidCon, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think my biggest problem with it was the idea of being a content creator now is very established. And so in the first few years of VidCon, it actually was like a novel thing. And so a panel about like getting monetized or like how to make a good channel was like new information. And now they have it down to such a science, and there's so many like corporations involved. It's very sterilized, and it's just like none of the actual information being presented is that interesting because it's kind of like stuff everybody already knows, or it's like getting so minuscule about the details you're focusing on your analytics or whatever that like I'm not interested in that because whatever.
Yeah.
So it's a weird thing, and I think maybe I honestly don't know what they could do to improve it. I feel like maybe it's just kind of dead, and maybe I would be more interested in. Yeah, I think maybe I'd be more interested in a more gaming focused one. Like from what I've seen of, I know maybe not.
Are there gaming conventions anymore?
I mean, I might be interested in going to TwitchCon, even though I don't stream on Twitch, just because it seems a little more focused on like making gaming content.
Can I go meet, I'm trying to think of Twitch streamers. Can I go meet XQC and attack him in Minecraft?
And attack him?
Yeah, I want to attack him. I don't like what he says. Obviously not in real life.
I would have loved just now to do an impression of XQC being attacked by you, but I'm just not even going to attempt it. So somebody just imagine that I did that and that it was funny.
Okay, someone put XQC and me into the AI and get our voices and write, hey, can you make it sound like Annie Austin is absolutely beating the ever-living hell out of XQC in Minecraft. That'd be funny. What about who's the dirty guy that we were talking about?
Something like that.
Who's the dirty? Who's the cockroach dude with the fucking also says even worse things than that guy? What the hell's his name?
Yeah, you're really not painting a great impression of Twitch. There's a few normal people on there.
Who? I don't know any of them.
Germa?
Who the fuck is Germa? It doesn't. He sounds disgusting.
You're gonna get insane hate for saying that.
Germs.
You don't know.
That's what I hear.
Are you being serious or are you joking?
Germa 985. Oh, I've seen this guy's face. There's a lot of memes about like every time they post his face, people go, "Where has Germa been?" But I didn't know he was a Twitch streamer. I thought he was a YouTuber from like 15 years ago. That had he was also that, so now...
but he mostly has been on Twitch for a very long time.
Oh, okay.
People are I'm already seeing the comments.
What does he
People
do?
Are going crazy in the comments right now that you don't know Germa.
What does he do? Why should I know Germa?
He's a streaming icon at this point.
But what is he do?
He's very funny and has done a lot of like very high effort, interesting streams. He did one where he was like a real life sim in the dollhouse.
I remember that.
Okay, well, so you've seen things that he's done.
Okay, I just didn't know his name. I'm sorry I didn't know Germa's name. Sue me. I won't attack Germa. I'll leave him out of the attacks that I'm
He's a good one. He's a good one.
He's a good one. All right. Everything I see that comes from Twitch or TwitchCon is the most horrible things I've ever seen in my life. I've been, what do they call it? Propagandized against Twitch. So you're going to have to get me out of that. Because I only see, everything I see from Twitch is politics. And it seems like a nightmare.
Yeah, well, that's no good.
Which I guess is true of YouTube also. So fair enough. Asmongold, that's what I'm thinking of. You add him to the list.
I have some important news bulletins to share with you I'd like to move on to, if that's okay.
All right. What do you got?
We have talked in a previous episode about the naked picture of Orlando Bloom with Katy Perry.
We have. I'm happy to talk about it again.
And I'm here to report to you that those two are separating.
Okay.
They're breaking up.
That's does it feel dramatic or does it feel like just like whatever, they're like done?
I have no idea because it's none of my business really. But TMZ has reported that they're breaking up. I guess they were not married, they were just engaged. But
okay, for a long time.
For like 9 years, I think. They were together.
Orlando Bloom is going to Jeff Bezos' wedding. That's what I see.
Yikes.
So there you go. I'm sure Katy Perry is too. Didn't she ride on his rocket?
Wait, like that's in the future that's happening? That has not happened yet?
Well, Fox News says Orlando Bloom arrives solo for Jeff Bezos' wedding amid Katy Perry split reports.
Interesting.
Kim Kardashian, Kris Jenner, Tom Brady, and Oprah Winfrey, among other celebrities. Once you're rich, like really rich, do people just come to your parties? Because there's no way he's friends with these people. Like he hasn't actually met.
That's actually so funny to think about because you hear so much about like really rich and famous people having all these other rich and famous people at their events. And you have to think they must just be like thinking of all the most famous names they can and inviting people.
Right, because it's not like there's no way Oprah and Jeff Bezos like call each other and check in, right?
I don't know.
Orlando Bloom. Like, there's no way all these people
Maybe they do just to relate about being so rich. Because there's only so many people they can relate to about that. They're like, how many offshore bank accounts do you have?
Well, here, let's type this in. Jeff Bezos and
But I would imagine that
name? Oprah Winfrey lovers.
I would imagine that Katy Perry was invited to the wedding because she just did the Blue Origin thing. But then it's interesting that Orlando is the one that's going alone.
Right. Well, because Katy Perry rode on Jeff's rocket, and now Jeff wants to ride on Katie's rocket. You know what I'm saying? So this says when I typed it in.
You mean Orlando's?
Well, that's her rocket. Well, it's not hers anymore. It doesn't matter.
Right. Her former
the AI
rocket.
says no. Jeff Bezos and Oprah Winfrey are not romantically involved. Okay. They are friends and acquaintances. Thank God for that clarification. According to the AI. Yeah, I just show me a picture of them hanging out. I don't believe it. I think they're just friends of, like, they're friends of like they go to it's their friends like how me and Dr. K are friends. Like we go to the same cons. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
you both had a panel.
Right. Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. That's the way that they're friends. Like who's Jeff Bezos' best man? That's what I want to know. Who Jeff Bezos best man at wedding? I'm going to find this out.
That is a good question.
It says it's not available. The information's not available. Okay. Well, whatever. Like, who's got friend? I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'm not trying to make fun of these people too much. We've already gone down that rabbit hole with Katy Perry. All right, go ahead. Knock it out.
Anyway, so obviously I don't know anything about why they split. The gossipy articles are presuming that it has something to do with Katy Perry's recent kind of public mockings. But, you know,
like people mocking her?
Yeah, because her album did bad and everybody's making fun of her tour.
Imagine that. Like, imagine if I, like, did something cringe, which I'm sure I will do. Everyone made fun of me, and Ashlyn was like, nice. And then Ashlyn was like, this is too, I can't, I'm leaving. See you later. I can't handle all the people making fun of you. I was with you because people thought you were cool.
Exactly.
Not because they're making fun of you. How horrible would that be?
Well, you know, sometimes you have a reputation to uphold.
So true. We all do.
It is kind of funny to think
see that video of Will Smith?
Legolas was with Katy Perry. It's kind of hard to imagine.
Do you think they ever like put the wig on?
I would ask him to.
Put those ears on. Who did Legolas be loved with in the movies? No one, right?
I don't know. I think.
What about?
Doesn't he have I think he has a love interest in Rings of Power, which I guess happened before the movies.
Okay, he's been around a long time. Right?
He's probably had some flings. I mean, everybody wants him.
I feel like you're either a Legolas person or an Aragorn person, and I'm an Aragorn person.
Yeah, I don't really see that. I would be a Legolas person.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, everyone's different. Everybody is a little different, but
I don't know. Did I interrupt you just now saying something else?
Don't know. I was telling someone earlier today, my brain since VidCon has been functioning in like 2-second intervals.
Yeah.
Like 2 seconds. I can't remember what the last 2 seconds were.
I got
So I really don't know. I don't remember the start of the podcast. As far as I'm concerned, I've been doing this forever.
We've been in this pipes level as long as you can remember.
Yeah, it sure feels that way. Spinning coins.
The other news story I wanted to mention that actually is going to be very timely for everybody listening. Okay, pay attention. This is more gamer news. I don't know if you've heard about the FTC is prosecuting Epic Games for Fortnite, people buying stuff that they don't want on Fortnite. And so they're like refunding
kids using
people.
Their parents' credit cards?
So it's kids using their parents' credit cards, and basically the accusation is that it, I think it's different now, but for a period of time, it was just too easy to buy stuff on Fortnite, and it was very easy to do it on accident. Because you just only had to push one button, and you could buy stuff on loading screens and stuff, and so people were saying they were just trying to
But you still need the credit card, right?
Yeah, but your credit card is saved into it, and then it's just very easy to like...
Yeah, if you let your kids save it.
I'm just telling you what the FTC is saying against Epic.
No, I'm trying to shoot the messenger, okay? What's going on with this?
I'm trying to shoot the messenger.
Get back here, messenger.
You want me to take accountability?
I'm just trying to understand, and I don't know why I'm quizzing you about it. I should be reading about it, but... I'm just trying to understand, like, so if I steal my parents' credit card and go to Walmart, can I sue Walmart? Like, can I be like, give me the money back? And also, wait, when they get the refunds, do they take the skins back?
So I was getting to that.
All right, go ahead. Sorry.
They originally had a deadline to file a complaint and, like, get in on this payout that was in February, but they've now extended it to July 9th. And so you can go to the FTC and say, hey, I didn't mean to spend this money in this time period. And it seems like they're just giving you back all the money you spent on Fortnite in this time period that it's about. And you don't have to have any proof that you actually didn't want the stuff or you did it on accident. They just give you the money back and you get to keep your stuff.
Okay, that's pretty sick. That sucks for Epic.
It does.
That's a bummer.
I think
I don't know, maybe there's something I'm missing there, but that sure sounds like
the settlement now is like $179 million or something.
Oh, they make that in like 10 minutes. That's fine.
Yeah, probably.
All right, I don't feel as bad anymore.
But so everybody, if you've spent any money in Fortnite, go fill out this form and you might just like get all of it back and get to keep your skins.
So does that mean that going forward, because Epic got in trouble, that every single thing that ever has me buy anything online is going to require like 7-factor authentication for me to buy anything? Because like even the Switch right now, and Nintendo is like super careful, but like every time you want to buy something, you have to type in your code, and it's annoying as fuck. Like I wish I could have one button click purchases, but this probably means that that's never going to happen again because they got in so much trouble, right?
Yeah, and I mean, I would say that's a good thing if I have to confirm it. I think now, like I said, already Fortnite has been updated since this. Like, they don't have one-click purchases anymore. You have to, like, hold down a button, or, like, it's a little more clear that you're buying something.
Wait, you're saying it's a good thing that you have to, like...
That you have to confirm it multiple times.
To get the code. Confirm it multiple times, or, like, actually go get my phone and open it up to get an email to type in a code? Or, like, type my password in and stuff?
I don't really care. You're saying every time you buy something, you have to confirm your email?
Well, if you go on the Switch, you have to type in you either have to open your phone and like confirm it on your phone, or you have to type in your password for your Nintendo account, which is annoying.
You don't know your password?
In fact, no, I know it, but it's like an extra 15 seconds. By the end of that 15 seconds, I'm not going to want to buy it anymore because I'm going to realize it was a bad decision.
So you don't want time to think. You want to be just buying stuff.
No, yeah, exactly. I want the option. Can't I just say like I thought these, I might again, maybe I'm like totally missing something here, but I thought these like consoles, you've got parental controls for a reason. You'd be like, this is a children's account, make sure that they can't buy shit. And maybe Fortnite didn't have that and that was the problem. But
yeah, I mean, I think a lot of parents are just not really responsible about that, and they do just put their card in and let their kids do whatever.
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't necessarily,
which is fine.
I don't necessarily feel that bad when I hear about parents that are like, my kid spent $2,000 on Fortnite without me knowing. Like, because how do you not know?
Like, yeah, you really got to not be paying attention, but people don't, and that's, is what it is. So life is hard. There's a lot to pay attention to. So, and it is true that like some websites make it like really hard to cancel things or really hard or whatever, and that's not good.
For sure, but just don't.
I think it should be easy to buy things and easy to cancel
on a child's account ever, is what I would say.
That would be my initial impression. But I'll read about this more and we'll see. Maybe Epic, I don't know why they would need to, because they're already making gajillions of dollars, and I feel like, why would you risk a lawsuit like this? But also people get greedy. So I don't know. What's his name? Tim Sweeney? We'll look him up.
Tim? Who's Tim?
You like Fortnite? Tim Sweeney. You don't know Tim Sweeney? He's a Twitch streamer. He's been doing really high quality Twitch streams. No, I'm just kidding. He's the president of Epic Games, I believe. Just doing a little Germa moment.
Do I play Fortnite?
How come we haven't done one of these in Fortnite? Yeah, what's going on there? Why don't we play Fortnite?
We could do one in Fortnite next.
We should. I feel like Fortnite is a really awesome game. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like it's awesome.
It's all right. Yeah,
Roblox.
I've dabbled in Fortnite. I'm just not competitive about online games like that, like I've said before. So I just don't really care. But
what if you're playing with a friend and you're on a team and you're hiding together in a basement, trying not to die?
I mean, it just takes a lot of effort for me to become emotionally invested enough to try to get good at a game like that.
Anyway, what'd you buy on Steam? That's really what I'm here to know about.
I told you.
No, but you said you wouldn't tell me because you were like, it's a bunch of indie games, some horror games. Did you buy any like...
I added The Long Dark to my cart because...
Oh, people have been telling me about that.
Well, somebody was just commenting on the last pod about it, saying, it sounds like it's exactly the same plot of the Cabela's game we played, so I just think that's funny.
Oh my god, amazing. Isn't it multiplayer, or am I thinking of something else?
I don't know. I think the description said it's solo. I might be thinking of...
The Forest.
But I think it would be funny if maybe next time we're in person, even if it's a single player game, we just play that, and then we just
every time we get together we play
only play
loosely
Plane
Cabela's
Crash in the Snow games.
I like it. Let's get it. Put it on the.
But apparently, it's also a plane crash in the snow to deliver a vaccine, like because there's a sickness. Like it's the same thing.
Let's get a list of all these games.
I don't know if there's any more.
Like 4 or 5.
I did copy a few listener questions, if you're interested.
All right. I'm so interested.
Not all of them were serious, but I'm going to take them all seriously.
Me too.
This person says, Dear Mem and Austin, long time, first time, would either of you care to speculate where Cotton Eye Joe departed from or arrived at? Because, you know, they say, where did he come from? And where did he go?
Okay, let me get the lyrics up here.
Yes, I'm going to get the lyrics up as well, so that we're
if it hadn't
really
been
on the same
for
page
Cotton
here.
Eye Joe, I'd been married a long time ago. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe? So first of all, the singer of the song is confused about where Cotton Eye Joe came from and also where Cotton Eye Joe is going. It's clear that Cotton Eye Joe is a problem causer or perhaps a very alluring, charismatic,
so has
sexually active individual.
Stolen this man's woman? Is that what we're to believe?
Either that, or what I'm thinking is, first of all, it could be a man or a woman singing. I don't know, but whoever it is, maybe this person is.
It's a man singing, from what I remember from the middle school dances.
Got it. So this guy is singing, and he's going, "I would have gotten married, but Cotton Eye Joe keeps coming to town, and I'm in love with Cotton Eye Joe." And he's sort of like my situationship.
Oh, so he's actually distracting.
Yeah, or Cotton Eye Joe comes to town and kills everyone that this guy's trying to marry. It's also possible.
Yeah, it could be anything.
Do you want to take the first, like, sort of stanza? He came to town like a midwinter storm. Would you like to take that one?
Yeah, I mean, I also want to mention the way that just in the beginning they're saying, where did you come from? Where did you go? It's giving me the impression immediately that he's kind of like a specter, like he comes into town and he leaves just as suddenly.
He's temporary. He comes back from he moved away after college, and he comes back every summer and is causing trouble.
Right, but nobody actually knows where he lives. Maybe he's had his information removed from all the databases. Nobody can find him.
Yeah, it's definitely possible.
But yes,
let's read this next bit.
He came to town like a midwinter storm. He rode through the fields so handsome and strong. His eyes was his tools, and his smile was his gun. But all he had come for was having some fun.
I think this goes towards my theory of he comes to town and he's like really hot.
He's so hot,
He's a player. He's so handsome and strong.
It's becoming
his
clear to me.
smile was his gun. Let me get to this next one. So, he brought disaster wherever he went. The hearts of the girls was to hell broken sent. Okay. They all ran away so nobody would know, and left only men because of Cotton Eye Joe. Okay, so he's coming to town. He's so
and
great.
The women are
all the
following
women run
him?
off with him. Yes.
So he has like a whole harem of girls with him.
Yes, and all those girls there, their hearts was sent to hell. They were broken and sent to hell, which is kind of intense.
But they're still following
So he breaks
him.
the girls' hearts. They follow him, and he sends them all to hell, which is pretty intense. You might be right about the specter.
Yeah, that sounds like classic
side.
Abusive behavior, right? He's breaking their hearts, but he's also probably like gaslighting them and making them feel crazy and desperate, so they're still following him to try to win him back.
Yeah, and I think that's like the last like stanza, like aside from just the refrain that keeps playing, right?
So
that's the story.
The singer is actually living in a town of only men because of Cotton Eye Joe. Like, let's talk about that.
Yes. So maybe
all the women are gone.
Internalized homophobia is preventing this man from getting married. Could be. Or he's just straight, and so he's fucked, you know? It's two options.
Yeah, I'm definitely leaning towards the singer is at least a little bit also in love with Cotton Eye Joe, because he has written a whole song about him and how handsome.
Yeah.
He's also rhymed the word storm with the word strong, but maybe we don't have to talk about that.
He's got an accent. It works.
It's like a country accent, right?
Storm. According to Wikipedia. Yeah, see, you're getting there. You're in the ballpark. According to Wikipedia, there's a number of possible meanings of the term cotton-eyed. It may refer to being drunk on moonshine, having been blinded by drinking wood alcohol, which turns the eyes milky white. Some people say it could be a black person with very light blue eyes. I don't know why that would be that, but that's just Wikipedia, not me. Miners covered in dirt.
My first thought would be cataracts.
True. Cotton Eye Joe should be called Cataract Joe.
A guy with crazy cataracts in both eyes that is so handsome he steals all the women.
It does say, this. They've got to be his someone whose eyes were. This is insane. Is there a picture of this guy?
That's exactly what it's going to look like. What I just described.
Cotton Eye Joe. Yeah. Well, we've kind of adjusted the meaning of the song. I feel like in my brain, because I didn't really. I kind of thought of it initially because I never had read all the lyrics. I kind of just thought initially it was like a troublemaker, but it does really sound like he's a.
Yeah, I never actually paid attention.
You never really read them, but now we have. And so the question of where did he come from? Either he came from the town that he moved out to, and then he like comes back and he was like the cool guy in college or high school. So he comes back and all the women are like, oh, Cotton Eye Joe's back in town. Or he's from hell. It's one of the two. And it does say that he sends their hearts to hell, so that he might have a connection down there. So I'm actually going to lean towards hell.
Yep, sounds good to me.
Great. Next question.
Yeah, I think we solved it. Next question. I saw this sentiment expressed multiple times. Is Austin giant or is Mem tiny?
Do you have an opinion on this?
I think we're both super normal, is what I would say.
I've
always considered myself
average?
Normal. I think I've looked this up before, and I am like average woman height. Maybe I'll look it up again.
Okay.
American.
Yeah.
Average.
American woman. American
woman. Height.
I've looked this up before, and I'm like way taller than average.
Oh, okay.
But, that's how it is.
No, okay. I'm a little bit taller than average. I am, height reveal, 5'6" and a half. Depends what scale you use. I'm 5'6", 5'6" and a half sometimes. I do lately wear a lot of big platform shoes that add another 2 to 3 inches.
Were you wearing those during the pod?
I was, yeah.
Okay.
And then still, people thought you were way taller than me. But I don't... How tall are you? You want to reveal the number?
I don't really want to reveal it. I don't like bragging.
You don't like bragging.
Yeah, so
You're 7 feet tall.
I'm going to keep it... I'm going to say that I'm an even 5'9". I'm just going to say that. I don't know what the average man's height is. I really don't know.
Okay, average American man height.
Taller than you. I'm significantly taller than you. I can say that.
I don't know. 5'9" is average.
Okay, well there you go. I feel like that's reasonable.
I don't perceive you as being crazy taller than me, but apparently people do.
I guess so. I definitely slouch. Maybe that's why. But I feel like I don't feel that tall, but I'm taller than average, I guess. So that's fine.
I also think your camera was angled up a little bit more, which probably gave more of the impression that
well, it had to be
that everybody was
really
looking
tall.
up at you because you're so
that's the reason
tall.
It wasn't angled. I didn't, because I think it was as high as yours, basically, maybe slightly shorter.
Your gimbal was a little bit shorter than mine.
A little bit. Don't you talk about my gimbal like that. All right, you leave my gimbal out of your mouth.
I had a little tripod that was a little bit taller than your.
All right.
Than your
tripod was 6'2". My tripod was 6'1.5".
Anyway, I have seen a lot of comments like speculating about my height and alternately calling me either really short or really tall. So
now you know.
Maybe it's because I'm just so average, but I'm 5'6". I will say when I go to Japan, I am the tallest person to ever exist.
Are they really that short over there? That's not a myth?
Yeah, I'm like by far the tallest woman anywhere I go. And then I'm like the same height as the men.
That's so weird. I would have guessed that... No. I was going to say I would have guessed that like people were basically the same height everywhere, but that is not how genetic works at all.
Yeah, people in Japan are short and small, and I've bought a couple of pairs of shoes last time I was there, and I'm always like the absolute largest size they have in shoes.
Would you say average woman height in America is?
Gosh, was it 5'3"? Is that what I said?
Okay, because apparently in Japan short. It's 5'2.8".
5'3"
Are people really that? Maybe. Do you think there's like a thing that happens, kind of like we talk about with Jeff Bezos, where like you get really rich and you kind of only start hanging out with rich people? Do you think we just kind of hang out with people who are about as tall as us? Like just kind of naturally? Do you think there's a thing that happens? Someone must have studied this. Because I feel like when I look around, I'm like, I've never met a woman who's 5'4", like 5'3", you know, like the average height. But apparently most people are that height. You probably just miss him.
You don't see him.
True. I'm just going right over them. I'm up in the clouds. I'm up there with those cirrus clouds, you know, just sailing by.
I don't know. I don't think I height discriminate, but I'm open to the possibility.
But I guess that nobody thinks they discriminate. That's not true. Never mind. Let's move on.
This was a question for you, and I'm not sure why it's aimed at you specifically, but somebody said, "Hey, Austin, thoughts on palm trees?" I don't know why they don't want my thoughts on palm trees, but I'll kind of keep my hurt to myself, I guess.
Yeah, keep your mouth shut about palm tree. What do you know about palm trees? I don't care about palm trees at all. I think they're nice. I think they're fine. I don't know. What do you think?
Like you don't care one way or the other?
I don't think so. I think they're kind of funny how they only have stuff on the top. That's pretty fun. And they can get really tall and somehow they don't fall over.
They are actually, that's pretty cool.
I think I like them actually for that reason. They're like the opposite of those. You got those trees sensing a pattern here. In the South. Yeah. You got those trees in the, I'm discriminating. I only like tall things. I'm just, or the trees down here in the South that are like, they're really wide, but they're not that tall. They like grow really, really long, wide branches. Palm trees are like the opposite of that, where like they grow really, really tall, which is how you know there's no hurricanes in California, I guess. Because if there were, they all would have got knocked the heck over.
Right.
I don't know if that's true.
But yeah, the palm trees in LA specifically are like, I don't know if they do something to them to make them grow straight, but I feel like compared to other places I've been, like I've been to, you know, tropical places on vacation, and the palm trees are more like natural looking. In LA, they all go straight up and down like telephone poles. And they're very, very tall. And supposedly all the palm trees in LA are planted because they did not naturally grow there ever before we started putting them there.
That's crazy because they feel so LA. Like when I think of like Venice Beach, I think of palm trees.
Exactly. But it's artificial.
That's
so
crazy.
I would say, like potatoes. As far as this trip I just went on, I don't love that like most of the trees on the street in LA are palm trees because they provide zero shade, and like I said, I got a horrible sunburn on the top of my head that now is making me look like I have dandruff because it's peeling. Oof, yeah. I'm having to exfoliate my head extra well.
That's a good point, actually. As a tree, they kind of stink. Like if you wrote...
Yeah, they don't provide a lot of benefit to me. And that's how I judge plants.
You remember that book, The Giving Tree? Do you remember that book, The Giving Tree, or the big tree?
Yeah, palm trees are giving nothing.
If that book was about palm trees, it'd have been 1 page long. It would have said, we took the chainsaw out and we got that thing the heck out of here.
I wonder if the palm trees in LA are the kind that have coconuts. Like, is it possible you could be walking down the street in LA and a coconut falls on your head? Because that's funny. I'll give them that. That's like comedy opportunity.
Do palm trees in LA have coconuts? There have been only a few instances of coconut palms growing in the state of California.
Okay, so probably mostly
they don't. It has to be way more humid for coconut palms. So, unfortunately, no. I've never seen a real coconut.
Really?
Yeah. Never.
You got to go on more vacations. You know?
Where?
South. You know, somewhere...
I'm as far south as the world tropical. Goes.
You are as far south as it goes. How much further south
can you get than New Orleans? That's the most southernest city.
What other questions do I have?
What other questions do these people have?
I think that was
feel like seeing a palm tree with coconuts on it would be so cool. Because I've only ever seen them in like cartoons.
You gotta go somewhere you can see that.
Where is the closest coconut tree? There's got to be one near me.
That's a really funny search. Where's the closest
coconut trees are not typically found in New Orleans. They thrive in tropical climates I told you my brain's not working today. Specifically within 25 degrees latitude of the equator.
Yeah, you got to go to the equator.
Some parts of Florida can get them. Yeah, okay. Where coconuts grow? I found a map. Okay, so if I went to Mexico, so like coastal regions along the equator, I guess that makes sense. All right, I'll go find some coconuts.
You should.
I want to. Yeah, I want to do that. I will.
I'm scrolling through my well, it's the technology section actually of Google News.
What are you learning?
And I'm learning that they have finalized the specs of HDMI 2.2. Isn't that thrilling?
Does that change anything?
HDMI 2.2 is here with new Ultra 96 cables up to 16K resolution, 96 gigabits per second bandwidth.
Are there even TVs that do that? It's probably like for giant TVs at like sports stadiums and stuff.
I guess, yeah.
But why would you even need that? Oh, weren't we talking about doing Project Zomboid?
It's for the Sphere in Vegas. They need this. That whole thing is going to be run on one HDMI 2.2 cable.
Here's something I was reading about. I'm reading this book called The Great River, and it's about the Mississippi River over the years, right? And I'm reading about these mounds. You ever hear about mounds that like the people who used to live here, and still some of them kind of do, but we kicked a lot of them out? You know, they built these big mounds. You ever hear about this?
Like graves?
No, like we're talking like 100-foot tall earthen mounds. That's
I don't know. What for? I think I've heard of like burial mounds.
We're trying to figure out exactly what for. There's obviously a lot of theories, and some of them we have a better sense of, but there's just all these, it's like old ancient cities, mound cities that were built all over the country. Anyway, the point is, when I was reading about those mounds, I started liking the Vegas Sphere more, because I was like, sometimes it is good for us just to build stuff, just for the sake of it. Like these people it would be thousands of years, and they would just add to these mounds, build these big old mounds.
Yeah. The Vegas Sphere is our modern Great Pyramid.
It kind of is, and so I'm not against it in that vein. I'm sure there's arguments that it's bad. I know there are, but I like it. I'm pro Sphere. I'm pro.
I think humanity
just doing stuff.
Humanity cannot really aspire to anything greater than putting a giant, enormous emoji on a screen in Las Vegas. I mean,
name something cooler that we've done that was like not meaningful. Like that's got to be the coolest meaningless thing we've done since the pyramids, which were not meaningless. I guess they were like graves, but they kind of were. It was a large thing for like a couple people.
Yeah, I mean,
so
what was the purpose of the pyramids?
Well, they put the pharaohs went in them.
Was it?
But like most of the space was just blocks.
Yeah,
like there was like little rooms in the middle, right?
Did you know that PS5 is leaking liquid metal?
Really? That seems like it'd be very valuable.
What do they mean by this? What type of metal?
Yeah, tell us.
The PS5 has a liquid metal problem.
It's like three people.
What do they mean?
Somebody put it in their microwave and it leaked, so they sued Sony.
I can't find... why... I need to get to the bottom of this.
Take your time. Take your time. We can have a little moment of silence. Everybody out there, check in with your body. How are you feeling? What kind of things are you feeling?
Look around your room.
Look around your room. Are you feeling any anxiety? Are you feeling any joy?
Are you a comfortable temperature?
Where are you feeling that? Are you a comfortable temperature? Ask yourself, where do I feel the anxiety I have right now? Is it in my feet? Is it in my chest? And just think about that for a minute. Sit with it. Well, we discover how to give you more anxiety by telling you about how your PS5 is leaking mercury into your veins.
I guess has a liquid metal cooling system, which I've never heard of. What type of metal? I need to know what type of metal it is.
That's what I'm curious about, yeah. Because you've heard of liquid cooling. Sometimes they use water. A lot of time they use like a coolant, like a car would use. That's not crazy. Everybody just keep breathing. Keep checking in with yourself. We can do a little Om meditation like we did with Dr. K. Om. That's good. Makes us feel nice. I will say that Om meditation, there was the silence at the very end, I felt was very potent. I don't know if you agreed.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. So
I thought it was
at Dr. K's panel, he made this whole room do like a chanting meditation. You're gone, but it's okay. I'll make you the coin or something.
Whatever, it's fine. Great.
He made us all do a chanting meditation, and then at the end, everybody was just quiet for a second. And then, like he was saying, that was kind of the real point of the meditation, was that feeling at the end.
Yes. Yeah. It reminded me a lot of one of my favorite feelings, which is that the first 10 seconds after your power goes out. Well, it could be your favorite. Sometimes you just start cursing a lot because you were trying to work and your power is out. But it's that true silence of like the fans on the PC aren't running, the fridge is off, there's no humming of anything, the lights are off, like true, like, ooh, like suddenly you're there. And I really appreciated that. I thought that was cool. I don't know if I'm in a position that I would embarrass myself by oming all the time, because I do get embarrassed very easily, but maybe.
Yeah.
Allegedly, it's good for you.
I was giggling a little bit because he was having us all, he said basically make whatever sound feels good, but just like make a sound and then like slowly close your mouth. And so it's not just literally saying Om like people think. It's basically just kind of
just whatever happens.
You just like gradually close your mouth. And then he kept saying, like, after we did it a few times, he's like, okay, louder, like next time louder.
He was trying to get us to embarrass ourselves.
And that was what was making me giggle a little bit, because I have a simple brain that just laughs at loud sounds out of silence.
Yes.
So it was just like when there would be this second of silence,
and, be like this,
and then we would all get chorus. Louder the next time.
It's this whole chorus of, it was pretty funny.
That was making me giggle a little bit. And I was like embarrassed because I was right in the front where he could probably clearly see me giggling. But I'm sure he's used to that because he's all the time like getting people to do meditations.
He very clearly said like, this is funny. It's okay to like think it's funny.
But I'm the type of person that will laugh at those videos that are just like 1 hour interrupted by loud sound effect. Like,
and then the Taco Bell.
Like that kind of shit just makes me laugh. So
yeah, it is
anyway,
funny.
I have scoured the internet. I'm reading the Wikipedia article, and it really seems like all the information that Sony has released, maybe because it's a corporate secret, is just saying, they're just using the phrase liquid metal coolant. Like, they're not saying what type of metal it is.
According to, unfortunately, the Google AI, I just typed in, does the PS5 use liquid metal cooling? It brought up something called Gallinstan, which is a brand name for an alloy composed of gallium, indium, and tin. Is this what it is? I don't know. But that's what it says.
I don't know. It must be something with a low melting point.
Oh, yeah, it is. So due to the low toxicity and low reactivity of its component metals, Gallinstan has replaced the toxic liquid mercury in many applications, such as bulb thermometers and high-temperature heat exchangers. That is from Wikipedia. Gallinstan. Now, this doesn't say that it's used in PS5, so that piece could still be wrong. But that would be a liquid metal that is used for cooling, which is interesting.
I would imagine they probably are not using mercury because of the negative connotations with that. But maybe they are, and that's why they're only saying liquid metal, because they don't want to admit that it's mercury.
According to Tronicsfix.com, the PS5 does use this, but it kind of looks like it's not like flowing through tubes. According to the picture, they've disassembled this PS5. It's just like, you know how when you have a video graphics card or whatever, and you put like a glob of shit on it to be cooling?
It says they're using it as a heat sink, which just means it's like on top of the processor.
And then so it's metal, and it's melting, and then but it's not toxic. That's good. You know, it's not going to help cool your PS5 if it's melted, but yeah, unfortunately not toxic. You probably can't sell it for anything.
So you can eat it if you want.
Why don't we see if that's true before we say that? Could you eat Gallinstan?
No. You don't need to look it up. I'm saying it. I take responsibility.
You actually know that. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, if any of our listeners open up their PS5 and slurp up that gallium or whatever.
Yeah, open up your mouth.
That's on me. And you can take that up You can report that to the FTC and have them do another Fortnite lawsuit.
GLHF has to pay out $176 million.
Yeah. Whatever the cost of our viewers' life would be. So maybe not that much.
$163,000. Cents, 1,000 cents. $1,600. Didn't somebody do that where they were like, if you sold all of your body parts on the black market, you'd be worth like $4,300?
Oh, that's the actual cost of a human life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Star.
Thanks for potting with me.
Oh, I figured you would have ended it a long time ago. Thank you.